right, everybody. We got something going on here today. I'm see if this is actually going to work. It looks like something might be going on. I'm not even sure if you guys are hearing me. Hold on a second here. Hmm. Yeah,
You're
I don't think
not
it's
live.
huh?
You're not live.
I'm not live, but yet I am live, and March Hare is in here. So what the world is going on? Let me check real quick here. Maybe it's done. So I don't know. I think it's screwed up on me. But something Streamlabs has done something, and now YouTube doesn't even want to load. Oh my! So it seems like there is a stream going on, but it's not the stream it's supposed to be. Huh? Look at that. There are four over here. Huh? So I can basically, it's letting me stream directly from Streamlabs now instead of having to go through that. Well, that's a pain. I'm gonna have to go back and figure out how to do that. All right. Well, at least it's over here. Let me share this out on this side, and just we'll do a truncated show because I do have the drone recorder Ultimate Edition, so I need to take some time to figure out how to fix that. Yeah. No. Thank you very much for that. You can hear me, but it's not where it should be. It's something has been bypassed. Something's going on. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Um. All right. Well, let me just do this then, and then we'll. Let me re-share it here. Oh well, it's always something, isn't it? So let me get rid of this. I guess I have to unschedule this. I don't. I have no clue. All right, just it is there. All right, let me just go forward with what I got. All right. Well, there are some of you coming in. I did just share it out. Please share it out if you could. See if we can't get some people in here. But it is weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There was an update for Streamlabs this morning, and when I turned everything on, and maybe it did something because what I usually do is I go over to YouTube, I set up my stream, and then when I start the Streamlabs, it goes straight into that setup stream, and we're good to go. What happened this time is it asked me for a title. So it forced me to make a live right there and then, which I guess is more direct. But when I set it up, I have all my tags, all my links, all that stuff set up. So something's definitely going on. Maybe there's a sometimes with these updates, there's a feature that automatically turns on or something like that. So I'm gonna have to truncate this show a little bit today, guys, and go try to figure that out because the draw and a quarter Ultimate Edition is I got to make sure I'm ready to go for that. But nevertheless, welcome. Nice to see you guys here. Thank you for coming in, and we're definitely going to cover a little bit of news here anyway. But of course, you guys notice we get Todd Mulrooney with us from IndieCom TV. How you doing, dude?
Good. I'm hacking into the show from, nether regions.
Your nether regions. I don't want to hear anything about your ball sack being on stuff, dude. What are you on
No,
about?
Oh, that's an interesting way of uh, associating nether regions to a ball sack. Couldn't be the
right.
nether regions of astral plane?
Space.
Yeah,
No,
space.
everyone knows it's a reference to your genitalia.
And that's where your mind is set at.
That's it. Is it? You know it
Ladies
is,
and
baby.
gentlemen, Chester's mind is set at genitalia.
It is. It most certainly is. I do like the lady parts. They got nice parts.
Oh,
But
oh, here we go. Here we go. All of a sudden,
I was working at this strip
I
club
have
in
more drama
Atlanta one time,
all over the
George.
place.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but nice to have you here, Todd, and your nether regions. And of course, guys, see we're joined by George. How you doing, George?
I'm doing okay. I am very sad.
Why?
I have been blocked. I have been blocked by the comic book hut, and
You
he and
have.
he thinks I am war campaign. I have been trying to become a war campaigner for like ever. I
Hmm.
even made the best trolling humor on them ever. I've trolled
Hmm.
them so hard, so many times, with the bestest humor I can even think about, and they think I'm a villain and I'm not worthy of being War Campaign.
I don't know.
And now someone who's not War Campaign thinks I'm War Campaign.
But I think the comic book hut might be right. I kind of agree with him. You seem war campaigning. I think you probably
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
I think you're always on the
Yeah.
war
He's
I'm
always
probably
path,
on the
waging
war
my own
path. He's
war.
angry. You're right, Todd. I agree 100%.
right?
I'm a
100%.
war path kind of guy. We're not a
Yeah,
war
you are.
campaign. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah.
war path.
But see, his
Yeah,
thing is, I don't care where you're from. Everybody's welcome here, right?
yeah,
We're Switzerland, baby. You could be war
that's
campaign and come over here. We're happy to have you. We're happy to have everybody. So good on you, George. War campaign or not, comic book hut doesn't know what he's missing.
yeah.
Oh well.
He's missing some really awesome humor.
Yeah. Of course, the problem is I've never heard of the comic book hut. Who is he? Some new
Me
streamer.
neither. I only discovered him because he was talking very dramatically to Sweetcast, defending Mike
Hmm.
and his posse. And I'm going like, hey, that's a guy I'd like to get to know. I mean, I really dig how he uses clever um, words in a paragraph without actually being a royal douche.
Hmm.
He put his points out, and I go, wow, these are valid points. I'm really interested in following somebody who has intelligent commentary.
Oh, there you go. Now you're shamed. George just double shamed you. And that Sweetcast kid, I'm good on him, man. He's had himself a bit of success. That's pretty awesome, dude.
Totally.
Yeah, no, he has. I mean, he's grown. His channel's become bigger. I listened to him once or twice, but yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool for him. If you guys hadn't checked it out, go see if it's something that you're into. I think for that kind of commentary, I'm much more into Angleteen. But and probably just because I'm much more, I'm basically the same age as Angleteen. So maybe I relate more to that, but I think he does pretty good. If you guys haven't checked out Sweetcast, I suggest you go do so. The kid's grown really well. So good on him.
I'm more inclined towards Wagner, uh, his commentary
Oh
and
my.
his accent.
What is a Wagner?
Oh, this is the guy that I feel like is putting us all on, but I don't know if he is. I'm just saying it's just funny. And it's not funny because it could be. I mean, it's an accent. He has definitely a weird cadence and accent,
Hmm.
and likable guy. I'm not saying and he loves comics and stuff. But I always wonder, is this guy putting me on with this? So
You suspect that too, don't you? Wow,
yes,
I thought I was the only guy.
Well, there's a lot of people that do that kind of thing. They
and it's
either think
fine
they're
if
being
you
yeah.
create a character. Yeah, I think more power to you if that's what you're doing. Is you're kind of creating your own persona and rolling with it.
uh,
I'm always telling John, you always need to be who you are and not try to soften, John Dillard.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's like the Mike's persona. You think the guy's a Bible kind of guy,
He is a
or Doug's
Bible kind of
persona.
guy.
You think he's Earthworm Jim's creator? Who? I mean, really?
Wow,
Does
George,
anyone believe that?
you really got to work on the humor, George. I mean, come on, George. But look at Doomcock. Doomcock's a perfect example. He
Oh,
just
he is the Lord of the underworld, and he's going to be the future ruler of the earth.
That's what they say. But he's got a kind of funny little production he puts forward. It's really kind of weird. But he does seem to have some insight though, or inside information anyway. But I mean,
Hail
Doomcock
Doomcock.
well, he's a perfect example though, because he just went over 100,000 subs, right? So I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
he's found
People
a
remember
niche,
he did
dude.
something clever. Yes.
Yeah, something weird and clever. It's hokey and it's low production and it's just perfect mix of oddness, and it works. I don't know
Exactly.
what to
And you
tell
know
you.
what? Exactly. That's what I was hoping. The comic book cut. Hey, we hang around with a little tiki, some pina
Hmm.
coladas, some little umbrellas, some straws. Make a funny commentary. Everything's nice.
Yeah.
What, I'm
Damnation.
digressing.
Damnation. We're doing on Drone Recorder Ultimate Edition. We are doing Sega. So that should be interesting. I know the guys want to do Sega for a while, and of course that gives them so many options. I'm actually kind of curious to see what they end up doing. So that is going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, let me go and do a little bit of news because I'm going to have to cut this short. I got to go figure out what's going on with Streamlabs. So anyway, let's just get to the news and
Ladies and gentlemen, Chester is about to censor himself and only talk about the news and nothing but the news. Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
once again, George. Damn, George. All right, here we go. Now,
You said here we go. What do you mean here? Like you're starting the show again?
No, I'm not starting the show again. I was just getting it shared up to you, and then I'm going over the news. Here, Arcane Studio veterans from new game development studios, Wolfeye. They form, sorry. On Wednesday, Arcane Studios veterans Ralph Colantonio and Julian Roby, both key developers of the Dishonored series, which is an awesome series, announced the creation of a new video game development venture, Wolfeye Studios. Colantonio and Roby both left Arcane Studio in 2017, and both hope that Wolfeye will afford them the chance to work outside the bounds of the major studio system. The Wolfeye team is currently fewer than 20 employees, still not that bad, and Colantonio and Roby indicated that keeping the Wolfeye a smaller studio will allow them to be more flexible and creative in their approach. Now, they don't really tell us what they're working on or anything because it's brand new. But I have to say, I think the reason I thought this article was interesting and I brought it up here was because from the video game point of things, the big giant companies are absolutely dropping the ball. We all know this. If you're a video game person, you know what's going on. They're just doing horrible. They're penny pitching. The suits could care less about. They're completely detached from reality and their consumers. Completely. And the smaller company, of course, can't afford to make those kind of mistakes. They have to keep their pulse on the community itself. So I think that's a good thing. Also, keep in mind that although CD Projekt Red has certainly grown to a point, that is that kind of company, and they keep that kind of idea. And of course, they've done great work. We're all waiting for Cyberpunk to come out, and do keep in mind also one of the most acclaimed games of the past year or so that and everyone cannot stop talking about is the Divinity 2, right? And that is a small little studio. So these guys are coming off a great series with Dishonored. Everyone really enjoyed it. It had a great look, great idea. And I know a little bit more about this because they wanted to do more. They wanted to go more in depth, but the studio wanted to keep it more kind of flat or generic so that it appealed to more people, whereas they wanted to get more niche. And it's too bad that they weren't allowed to do that, but maybe it's a good thing because here they are making their own studio and I'm looking forward to see what they create over the next 4 or 5 years, because legitimately it should be like about that. But my point is, I think this is the amazing opportunity we see right now because of the big companies just being stupid and dropping the ball. It's a chance for little companies to pop up and have some success. And oh my, is that not the exact definition of free market? See, I got my economics politic in there too. I got that. I snuck that in, Todd. You saw that? Did you get that?
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you guys have any comments on this? I think it's good news.
Well, if it's good news, then it's very
Good
good.
on them.
See,
Yep.
these guys don't play video games. That's what it is. But
I don't have time. Who has all this time?
Yeah,
it's about
exactly.
it's about scheduling your
Yeah.
time, Todd, and you only need to sleep 4 hours a day. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, Roger, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go figure it out because something weird's going on. But nothing new with YouTube. They're always causing some kind of trouble, these guys. But nevertheless, cool. I think it's cool for the gamers amongst you, the video gamers amongst you. I think this might be good news, and I want to see more and more of this news, and I think we will. But anyway, let's move over to Star Wars news. Yeah, we need Star Wars news. How can we have a comics news today without Star Wars news? This one's funny though. That Star Wars girl Rex Anita Sarkeesian attack on Disney's The Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau. Now, I could go through this whole article and read stuff, but that's not really why I put it up here. The reason I put it up here, this is from Bounty on the Comics, as you guys can see, is for two reasons. One, people seem to really like The Mandalorian. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't got Disney Plus, but it seems to be doing really well. And the SJWs absolutely hate it. And you know the big complaint they have, Todd, and this is the funny thing for me. There's not enough women. I think there's 3 title women, but that's not enough because it's being led by a man.
Wow.
It's a male led. It's Clint Eastwood movie. Basically, is what it is. But it's
Most people
not.
are saying it's the closest they've come to getting Star Wars right
Yeah,
yet.
that's what I've been hearing a lot. That's right. But they're very upset because there's just not enough women. And the funny thing is how many movies have we had so far, Todd? And we haven't had a woman yet. I mean, 2012, Disney buys Star Wars, right? I think it was 2012. Pretty sure.
Mhm.
So we have been 7 years, and we have not had a male lead yet. And I know that you're gonna say, Chester, there was a Han Solo movie. Yeah, dude, that movie. The reason that movie bombed because it had nothing to do with Han Solo. It was all about the chick, right? They haven't had a male lead yet, and then finally, we get a male lead, and they're going to complain about it. Of course, they're going to complain about it. But I just think it's funny. And the second point that I want to bring it up is, of course, Anita Sarkeesian. Talk about desperate to get back in the limelight. I mean, because she's every time opens her damn mouth, she causes trouble, and of course she fails. But then she gotta get that money back. She gotta get those crowdfunding monies. Gotta support it. I'm the feminist frequency. I'm Miss Sarkeesian. You gotta get on me, and this is all this is. But that's
Chester,
why. Yeah, go ahead.
Chester, who is this? Who is this chick?
Anita
I've never
Sarkeesian.
heard of her.
Oh,
I've never heard of her before.
She's from Gamergate. Of course, Gamergate, as if any of you followed it, basically you had this chick Zoe Quinn was sleeping with a bunch of news supposed journalists, like from Kotaku and Polygon, so we could get her really crap game a high rating. And what happened is you had a bunch of people complaining. It was like, why has this got a high rating? It's a crap game. And then her boyfriend at the time kind of sent an open letter. I don't remember exactly why he sent it, but he was basically just upset because he found out she was cheating with all these guys, and he was just kind of revenge emailing, I guess. Putting an email out saying she's a whore. That's kind of what he was doing. And of course, all the fans, the gamer people who were involved in the social network of the thing at the time, came out and said, "What is this crap? What are we supposed to do? You're supposed to be journalists, but yet you're gonna give out good reviews for sexual favors. What the hell's going on?" That's how it all started. But then, of course, you had people jumping in, including one of the biggest figures to jump in was this Anita Sarkeesian, who openly says she's not even a video game person or player, for that matter. But she jumped in, and of course, they changed the narrative immediately that they were attacking women, and it was anti-woman, and yay, my feminism. And of course, it had nothing to do with feminism whatsoever. And of course, the legacy of Zoe Quinn has continued, right? Because now we see her up working for DC, and then she's working for Marvel, and everyone gives her a job. And of course, we all know she just had the big thing where she outed some guy supposedly who committed, and then he commits suicide, right? And then she says, "Leave me alone. It's not my fault. He's not my fault," right? It's never her fault. Of course, that's the problem with these children that we're dealing with these days. It's everybody else's fault, right? And that's who Anita Sarkeesian is, George.
Well, okay, now I understand it.
Hmm.
It makes sense. It's of course it's not her fault. It's Todd's
Yeah,
fault.
it's everybody else.
God,
Yeah, it's men. Yeah, it's the
that's
men's
right.
fault.
That's right. And it's funny. It's like, oh, women in media and all that stuff. Are you kidding me? We had Tomb Raider, the hottest chick. Uh, what around for what 25 years now?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Please.
Yeah, but we were just ogling her, George. We don't care about her feminine spirit. We cared about her feminine boobs. Pretty much her
And what's
polygon
wrong with
boobs.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
that's right.
yeah. That's
She
right.
had great polygons, even the simplicity ones.
They did. They did. They were pretty awesome. But anyway, and of course, this article is that Star Wars girl is pushing back against Anita Sarkeesian. Of course, it's stupid anyway. I mean, good on you. That Star Wars girl. I think I've seen one of her videos once, and she loves Star Wars. And of course, the other point here, which I didn't even really think about, is John Favreau. Because if you guys haven't noticed, there's been a bunch of noise because Mandalorian has been so successful for them that of them replacing old Darth Kennedy over there with John Favreau. I don't know. What do you think about that, Todd?
Yeah,
They should.
You think?
He, I think he gets it more than she did.
Well, he does get it, but is he capable of running Lucasfilm?
Oh, absolutely.
You think?
oh, but
Hmm.
what are people going to think when they discover that the Mandalorian is actually a woman underneath?
I do believe they show. I haven't seen the show, but I do recall someone saying about his face reveal took so much time. Pretty sure they've showed his face by now, George.
They
But
haven't,
they
unless they
haven't.
did today. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
but
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well,
I
then
mean, so
that's
far.
awesome. Now I pulled my hat off to him big time now. But yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
I know
mean
who it is.
we all know it. Yeah,
I know,
yeah. He's a good actor too.
yeah, but yeah, I loved Narcos or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did a
I think
great
that's what
job,
it was
man.
called.
But it was like the season 2, right? Where I think it was season 2. Was he in the first
He
one when
was
they were
in
doing
season 1 and season 2.
So he was in. That's right. He was in both of them. Yeah, he's a good actor, dude.
Yeah.
Let me see here. El Rodham Slash says, "Are they sisters?" Nah. Okay. Ew. Never say "get on me" and Anita Sarkeesian in the same sentence. Sorry, March here. Eric says, "Man, if I had a vajayjay, I would rule the world with that thing. I don't get this. They got what we all want, and we turn stupid to get it. How are they not in charge of everything?" Well, they are, dude. And that's why it pisses us off so much because the man who has not decided to become a homosexual, our whole life is about elevating the mother, right? And that means that any woman is potentially the mother. Yeah, and we protect them, we hold them up. We are gentlemanly. It's what we do. We're built to do it. It's in our DNA. It's not even like you have a choice on the matter. And they take advantage of it all the time, sure. And we're happy to let them do that. But then you get these absolutely screeching banshees like this Anita Sarkeesian here, who are taking extreme advantage of men, and they know it. They know it, right? And that's what pisses us off because we're like, well, I'm not supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, and like, but f you, right? So this is the problem we have. This is the conundrum. Yeah, but anyway, it's just funny. I thought it was funny that Anita Sarkeesian decides to raise her mighty head upon the surface of Star Wars.
I guess someone's looking for attention.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, dude. She's always doing like that. Let's see. Do I want to talk about that? Oh God, these old men. Uh, oh goodness, Todd, read that headline, please.
Joker's Robert De Niro. Martin Scorsese thinks Donald Trump will start a war to stay in office.
Uh,
It's not the first president to start a war to stay in office.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton did it
they all
really
do.
well.
Yeah, Obama too. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much what they do, actually. But in this case, you never know. Trump might. But the thing I've that was quite surprising to me about Trump actually is the fact that he said a lot of things, but they always say crap. They never keep their word. And if you're Obama, you not only do not keep your word, you do exactly the opposite of everything you promised. Now that's an accomplishment. He deserves a medal just for that. But Trump's actually done a pretty good job of doing what he said he was going to do. I'm kind of surprised. And one of the things he said, well,
Well,
and not a completely, but I mean, but one of the things he did say was he was going to end the wars and get out of all this stupid fighting. And dude, he has. He is a
yeah.
Yes,
dove.
he
He's
did.
not a hawk, dude. He's absolutely a dove. And I was surprised. I thought it was just bull, right?
Hmm.
But no, that's the way he thinks. I understand he's not perfect. I'm not even coming close to him about Donald Trump. Jeez, man. But I mean, he's pretty much tried to keep his word on what he wanted. I think, particularly the war front. So for these guys to think about him making war or him refusing to leave office or all this kind of stuff, he that's not who he is, man. It's really not.
It's a clever troll by Donald Trump to control the narrative coming out of the Democrats. I mean, you do remember that he actually tweeted out a
I
video where it
agree,
shows
Nixie.
him being in office on the 2024,
Yeah,
2028,
yeah, 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 yeah.
2032. That was absolutely hilarious.
Well, he plays him like a Stradivarius, dude. They make it so easy for Donald. They make him look like a genius, is what they do. And of course, we know he's not, which says something about them, I guess. But yeah, no, Scorsese. I know he's a lefty, but I haven't heard him say as much. But Robert De Niro's lost his damn mind. He is absolutely beside himself that Donald Trump even dare to deign himself president. I
I
mean,
suspect
Jesus, De Niro.
I sus- I suspect De Niro's way of life is in jeopardy because of Donald Trump.
Why so?
And well, Donald Trump's going after the corrupt businessmen, the pedophiles, the briberies, the
He is,
blackmails,
yeah.
the globalists. Everything that Donald Trump's going after has stirred the pot and riled all these evils to come to the
Mhm.
surface and expose themselves and show themselves
Yeah.
for what they really are.
Well,
And anyone who comes after Donald Trump in such a harsh manner
he is coming
means
at him harsh. You're right. Which protest too much. Methinks. All right, but I
exactly.
don't know about De Niro in that though. Of course, the media and people have been talking about the pedophilia of Hollywood and European elites for decades and decades, dude. It's not a new conversation at all. But Robert never carries himself that way, dude. He doesn't come across as a pedo. He really doesn't.
Well, no, I didn't think he's a pedo. I'm just pointing out that Donald Trump has gone after all these different organizations, and their way of life is in jeopardy. I didn't say Robert De Niro is a pedophile at all. I didn't mean to suggest it. All I'm just saying is
Mhm,
that all these um, different evils in the world are
mhm.
percolating to the top because they're sticking their heads out,
Yeah, no,
and they're really upset.
I get
Donald
it.
Trump is ruffling the tall grass.
Yeah, well,
He's
and
he's hitting it with a big stick.
yeah, and De Niro's definitely got a bug up his ass, hardcore. So it's yeah,
Something
something.
Donald Trump has
Yeah,
done, some executive order that he's executed is going against the grain of his way of life.
yeah.
Order 66.
What? What?
Sorry, I just had to do that. That's
Mm.
the Order
Yeah,
66.
yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. I know, Palpatine.
Or is it
Um,
67 hours, 68?
But yeah, no, of course, De Niro is, and the problem is, De Niro's had a pretty good career. Of course, if you look down here, his Irishman has just come out with Scorsese and him working together again, and I'm not interested in watching it simply because, no, bad De Niro, bad, but actually the reviews are stellar, stellar. Just an
It's going to be on Netflix too.
yeah, but I mean, it's just outrageously well acted, well done Scorsese movie, which shocker. But he's really killing his legacy, though, unfortunately, because he's so rampant, he's so rabid about it. But whatever. Now, this right here, I thought was pretty interesting. Forgive me going through these things a little bit rapid, but I do need to kind of finish early to try to figure out what's going on. Anyway, Swamp Thing, Gary Doberman teases ideas for the unrealized second season. Okay, well,
Why?
why do I care you teasing me about ideas when it isn't going to happen? So therefore, I don't really care about this article. The reason I put it up here for was to talk about the show itself. I saw this. I saw episode one, which I thought was awesome. Has there been any other content come out? Is my question, because I only saw the first episode and I liked it. Anybody?
Isn't there like 10 episodes
Right,
out?
but where? I haven't seen it. Uh, I guess it's over. It's 420 somewhere. Okay, bullet. Yeah. Not late not late today. It was weird, bullet. We had a weird start today, bullet. But anyway, someone in the chat tell me where can I find them because I like the first one, and I'll watch it. But then again, it kind of brings another thing was in my head. Todd was and George is this. I watched all the way up to season 5 of Game of Thrones. And I was starting to get a little bored with it, but I was like, all right, I'm going to watch season 6. And, I set myself up to be able to watch it, and I just didn't get around to it. And the years passed, and season 8 came out. And people complained about season 7, so I was like, ooh. And then season 8 was this absolute trash fire, right? So I'm like, wow, why would I even bother going back watching 6, 7, and 8 now? You know?
Yeah, that is true. I feel the same way. I felt the same way when I have such a great DVD collection, and it's a nice run of something. And then the
Mm,
last chapter in that story that I've invested hundreds of dollars in is not good at all.
yeah,
Why would I go back and relive the happy moments, knowing that the ending is 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 of such poor quality? It just destroys
yeah,
the very
uh
wanting
yeah.
to actually watch this.
I said the same
And
thing, George.
I,
I
wa-
just said it
I want
much
to throw it out.
quicker and more
I
succinct.
want to take this collection
Uh-huh.
and put it on eBay for free. Just pay the shipping.
Oh, okay. Okay, George. Thank you. But my point is, should I even bother watching Swamp Thing? But it seems like the
No,
chat doesn't really know where I can find the episodes anyway. I don't
no, don't
know.
watch it
Why
because they rushed
did
the
they
ending.
close? Did they close the DC streaming service?
Yes, they
I,
did, as far as I know.
I don't have
Well,
no
they're
clue. I
still
have no
showing
idea. I
Titans.
have no idea. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they are showing because there are several shows that have been announced, so I
George
think they are
just
showing.
says things
He
just
just
to
says
say
stuff.
them.
I know he does. We all know that. But I'm just curious. I get because I'm not gonna because I saw the first trailer, but I didn't watch it on. I don't have the DC Universe, whatever that's called. But I saw it somewhere else, and I'm just wondering if there's anywhere else I could see it because I don't know. I think I'd like to see this season because the episode one it caught my attention. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And of course, we know why they canceled it because of the cost of each episode, and we covered. I can't remember exactly all the reasons, but I don't know. I just thought I kind of make a decision whether I should try to dig it up and find and watch it or not because there won't be any more. Right? It's done. So I don't know. Let's see. Do I got time? Let me. I want to talk about that one though. I won't do those things. I'll do this one, and then this will be last. Okay, here we go. We'll do this last. So here's a bit of comic book news, or just comic book conversation, I guess. Is the X-Men's Betsy Braddock now one of the strongest characters in the Marvel universe? Now, I don't know what the hell is going on because last I knew, Betsy. Now let me lay this out, and I got a couple of comic experts here with me, and of course you guys in the chat. But as far as I know, Betsy is the sister of Captain Britain, and she
Hmm.
became somehow Psylocke, where some Asian scientist or another made her Asian-like, and she became Psylocke. That's all I know. And now I haven't read this article. I'm going to go and look at it right now. But now it's kind of looking at me from the picture that now she's the new Captain Britain. I'm confused, Todd. Help me.
I don't know how. I don't know
Okay,
how to help you
I'll,
because I
I'll
don't know
throw it.
why
I'll throw this
she's.
in there. She started off being a little cuckoo,
Uh
and
huh.
the sister of Captain Britain, and then she became an Asian,
Mhm.
and then there was a multiverse universe
Mhm.
based on her,
Mhm. Mhm.
and then they depowered her, and then they upped her powers,
Okay.
and then they changed her
Okay.
history,
Thank you,
and
George.
now here's where we are.
Okay. Well, the funny thing for me was, and you don't hear people complaining about it for some reason. I guess because she's female. But I thought it was always weird that she was Asianized. It's kind of odd. Why?
Well,
Yeah.
because of the great artist, what's his name?
Well, he
Alan
must not have been
Davis.
a very great artist if he couldn't draw a
Well,
British
the guy,
lady's
the guy,
face.
the guy can draw really nice. I guess he
All
just
right.
wanted to make her Asian.
I guess he didn't do his research. Anyway, for some time now, X-Men writers have been in the habit of giving the character Psylocke, Betsy Braddock, power boost. Okay, fine. It happens so often that it's almost become its own a biannual event. So, if I told you that it happened again in recent weeks, it might not surprise you. In Excalibur #1, now excuse me, I bought Excalibur #1 way back in the day and loved it. What the hell are you talking about recently? Hmm? Hmm? Okay. Betsy took possession. At least I hate that when they do that. Oh God, it's so stupid. Betsy took possession of her twin brother's amulet. No, and added the abilities of Captain Britain to her own. No, so there is no Captain Britain now. She is Captain Britain. Of course, you do guys realize that is the spirit and power of Arthur himself. And that was the funny thing too. I'm sorry, I'm going to rant. But if you guys remember, Dark Tower came out with what, Idris Elba, I think, who played the part, which I like. Idris, he's a good actor. Now that movie was but nevertheless, beyond that or the meh aspect of the movie, you took a character from King's stories, which, the original Gunslinger, the short story, was probably the best thing he's ever written, I think. And of course, it became extremely convoluted, as King always does when he writes more than 200 pages, right? And the Dark Tower became extremely convoluted, but it's interesting and it's very popular. My dad even liked that series. But of course, the whole thing in the end comes out. You find out that the gunslinger is actually the last living descendant of King Arthur, and his guns that he's using were forged out of the melted down Excalibur. Right? That's what you. Spoilers. Okay, you find that out.
Ooh.
So during the whole story, you find that out. And of course, in the movie, you took something you should have done like 8 movies to actually tell a story, and you tried to condense it into one, which is another reason why the movie failed. But you're taking and you're saying that, okay, the last living descendant and the bearer of Excalibur himself is a black dude.
Oh,
Really?
okay. I'm curious. Obviously, you read the books. So
Obviously.
at what point?
Yeah.
At what point? Let's say the book is from 0 to 100, meaning 0 is page 1, 100 is the last page. In what percentage did you actually discover that he's the descendant and Excalibur?
I don't know, 30 in?
So that's like what,
Pretty early on. Yeah, pretty early on.
six,
Uh,
700,
yeah, I don't.
700 pages in?
Oh well, no. I mean, these are multiple books, George. But I don't think that was his intention in the beginning. I think he just wrote a little off story he called the Gunslinger. But it just becomes something later. I mean, you don't listen to these guys who say, "I planned it for the past 50 years, and it's complete in its intricacies." They're full of it. He wrote that story, just like George Lucas wrote Star Wars with no intention of making a second or third one, right? Obviously, but later in later stuff, he started formulating. Okay, it was popular, people liked it. How do I take this weird little time jumper or dimensional jumper guy and make it into something? And he did. And he did it successfully, I think. But my point being is they do these little things. It's like the BBC doing the Troy series and making Achilles a black guy. And I don't mean a mulatto, like an American or European mulatto. I mean an African, right? And we know exactly what Achilles looked like. He's described quite clearly by Homer, right? But well, my point is here once again, they're kind of subtly, by not directly doing it, giving the power of Arthur, or the reincarnation of Arthur, but now they've gender swapped Arthur, right? Yeah, it's like that movie King on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, the first 90% of that movie, 80% of the movie is pretty good. It's a pretty good flick. It's solid, interesting. And then at the very end, they basically just kick straight in the face being British or English, just insulting England. Oh, it wasn't. It was all a lie. It was that you're one of the greatest moments in English history. It's a male nonsense, and only a woman could bring light to the situation. They did that. They did that. The Battle of Agincourt is one of the most important turning points in the history of England itself, right? But yet they're going to do that. And even if you're not a historian like myself, you know Agincourt is important. You know that. Just because of all the stories been written, freaking Shakespeare wrote about it, right? And these guys are going to go twist it to their freaking agenda. And that's all I'm seeing here is another sideway twist by making Arthur a female. So, screw this article. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm leaving it. Done. All right. Rant over. Sorry, Todd. But I mean, you get what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
Unbelievable. And the
I
thing is,
never saw that. You know what I do? Last Kingdom. Have you ever watched The Last Kingdom?
I
Really,
think I have. Yeah.
with Uhtred and from Bourbon Band or whatever it was. Really, really good.
Oh yeah. No, with BBC could put out some, could put out some pretty cool stuff, particularly period stuff. They're set up well to do it. But I mean, they just
Netflix
this.
did for season 3 and added a season 4 is coming. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
the
did. I
BBC,
have seen it. But it,
yeah, it
but
was
the,
pretty
but what the problem with it is, Todd, is although I think that might be the one that doesn't have so much nonsense in it. The BBC is putting out lots of nonsense. It's just insulting, and they're basically, and this is another thing I don't get. If you want to make racial comments and historical comments about, say, something like America or Canada or Australia, well, fine. You go right ahead because America is a melting pot. It always has been and it always will be. And it was settled and conquered, right? Get it, you know? But when you're talking about Europe, you're talking about the homeland of the whitey, right? They talk about our homeland, right? And if you went and you said the kind of things you would about African homelands or Middle Eastern or homelands or any kind of Asian homeland, et cetera, they would just be up in arms. How dare you, you racist? But yet they're just tearing apart here, rewriting history, basically blaming white people for existing in their own homeland. And it's like, really, dude? Really? Because if you don't like it, then go somewhere else. If you want a place where you can demand that you have an equal voice as everybody else, well, go to America because that's what America is. Everybody has an opportunity in America. That's what we're based upon. That's a whole concept. But Germany, Germany is for the Germans. Am I wrong? Is there some odd thing that I'm possibly missing in the nether regions of the universe, Todd?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wait a minute. Are you saying Germany is only for the Germans?
I'm saying Germany is for the Germans. Absolutely. Other people can come, like let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. All right, I live in Japan. I lived here 17 years. Okay, you guys know that, and you're going to make a joke about Chester lives in Japan. I didn't know. That's fine. You go right ahead. But here's the thing. Uh, I am a guest in this country. Right? Now I have a permanent visa. I can stay here for my whole life, and I will. I'll be dead and buried here, right? But I will always be a guest in this country. This is not my homeland. Japan is for the Japanese, right? And that's fine. So I show respect to the culture. When in Rome, do as the Romans, right? Yeah, and I understand that, and I don't allow myself to forget that. And I get along here just fine. I have no problems whatsoever, right? And if you are a guest in Germany, even if you spend your entire life there, you're still a guest of Germany. It is not your duty to change Germany to be what you are. It is you to change the Germany or Japan
But
or France.
hold on, Chester. What you're suggesting is that what's going on right now around the Earth is one culture trying to dominate all the other cultures, so that way we only have a monoculture. But isn't diversity our strength?
No, screw it. Diversity, tribalism is awful. It's tribalism is horrible. It just go read a history book, any one. It'll show you diversity is absolutely not our strength. But the thing is, because they make a lot of accusations about Britain and Rome and stuff like that. But one of the things the Romans and the British did, and the Americans have actually even done better, is they didn't go in there and try to radically change your culture. All they wanted was taxes. Now, in the end, of course, they did change the culture simply because that those people wanted the cool things that Rome had or the cool things Britain had, and over time it did change, but they didn't. And
Hold on, Chester. You said tribalism is such an evil thing,
mhm,
but
mhm.
um, Germany being for Germans, that's tribalism. But if they open up Germany or Japan and allow other cultures to come in and dominate that base culture and become a different culture altogether based on the numbers that are coming in,
Mhm, mhm.
uh, isn't that monoculturing
No,
and
George.
not
No, a good try
diversity?
though, George. That was good. You almost got me there. You almost had me up to speed. Almost. It was close.
Because
Yeah,
I'm just using your
yeah.
own logic here.
No, you're not. You're using some kind of strange Pinky in the Brain logic. But I love Pinky in the Brain. So but I'll stop what I'm saying. But one thing I do respect about Japan that the other countries are not doing is Japan will not let another a wave of migration come in and screw up this country. They refuse. and good on him for that. And this is a foreigner living in the country saying good on. Yeah, because this is the problem. There's no respect. All these things you're seeing in these, particularly in Europe. But I'm not talking about America. America's different, right? It's a completely different situation. But with Europe, you have these people that are trying to change something from a white people's, their homelands into their own thing, right? You actually had this guy at some kind of speech. It was like Intelligence Squared or something like that. This black racist guy, and he was sitting there trying to basically talk about how I'm surrounded by the white people all the time. Every place I go, that this is nothing but violence to me. And okay, so being in the presence of Whitey is violence to you. Well, all right. Well, then if our presence is violence to you, just our presence is violence to you, then why don't you leave? Why don't you protect yourself? Are you suicidal? I don't know. But damn it, I gotta go because I gotta figure out what's going on with this thing. And so before the next show, I wasn't even paying attention to chat at all. Let me see if Sandy says, "Screw you, Chester." Or thank you. No one cared then, and no one cares now. Screw you, Chester. Okay. Miller has a book swapping out Arthur for a woman. Yeah, screw him too. Uh-huh. Let me see. Homer Simpson, he knew Achilles. Well, I will be darned. Okay, all right, fine. That was a kind of joke, Eric. Someone called the cops because Chester just murdered the article, all right? Eric says, no, always. I wasn't a melting pot before those darn whiteys came here and took it from the Native American brothers. Yep, that's true. We conquered their ass. Let me see. March here says, there's no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese.
What?
That was interesting.
That
Germany
is
also
true.
lost 2 world wars. They did, dude. They got their butts kickulated. Chester lives in Japan. Who knew? Thanks, Brian. Comics news today. Yeah, we covered the hell out of that comics news. Tentacle grape is what? No, I don't like soda at all. Turtle Robin says the European Union has been giving away their countries to invaders for quite a while now, which is really disgusting, especially if you think about how desperately Europeans were fighting against the intrusion of Islam for like frickin' 1400 years, and then the bastards just opened the gates. Poland is the last holdout.
But
Austria.
what's wrong with culture coming in and dominating the other culture and making it
Because that culture
monotheistic?
murders you, George.
Yeah,
That's why. Hmm.
but they're murdering the tribalism and they're making it untribalistic.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Just your
All
logic,
right,
man.
the chat is caught up, man. And thank you guys very much for coming in and covering this non-comic book news, which started in comic book news, though it did. It did. It came from the source of comics. It was initiated there. The inception was there. But of course, you guys know that in a little over an hour, we're going to be doing the Jordan Recorder Ultimate Edition. Today we're doing Sega. So please definitely come on back and join us there. Hopefully I'll figure out what this is and be able to fix it, or I'll just go with whatever it is they're doing now and just do it right from the beginning. But nevertheless, Todd, you got some closing comments for today?
Sure. If you are a geek and you're into the things that we do, you know what? Subscribe, hit, share, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
because we're trying to bring you the best programming we can as far as bringing you comic news or related news. And, share us out there. Get us some more subscribers because we could use some more.
Okay, awesome. George?
Beautiful, man. I don't know if I can follow it up, but I'll try. Um, well, we have just spent the last 50 minutes watching Chester digress and just break down and
Hmm.
not be able to control himself and talk about all sorts of worldly things again. There's nothing this man cannot talk about. I'm telling you, if I even say, Chester, what about that little washer underneath the kitchen sink? The one that holds the water together? I'm pretty sure he's going to tell you the history of that washer
I
and
could.
how it came to be.
Yeah.
There you go. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Well, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in a little bit over an hour. And do keep in mind that screw Frank Miller from making Arthur a woman. Screw him. Later.